Well, it's a start. We've got a lot of things to work on from this game that we knew we needed to work on. Rebounding probably being the most obvious, but trying to blend a lot of new guys together. I think you see some of the talented players that we have on the perimeter that I think will really be able to get better and better as they play more together. We've got to do a better job inside rebounding the ball and finishing some plays, but for the most part, it's an opportunity to get out on the floor in front of some people and get started.
Coach, after losing Sigler and Emery from last year, how good was it to see Young and Police come and kind of step into those roles that they had from last year on the defensive end and also on the scoring end?
Well, it's going to be really hard to replace EJ. He was such a good leader for us and such a good team guy. And Carlos really came on strong. As his career went on, he just got better and better. So, those two guys are hard to replace. But I think Jason and Joe are different types of players, but I think they can do some of the same things. I think they both shoot the ball well. They're both quick. So I like them. They've been really good in practice. They've really worked hard. But they're different kinds of players. You see with, EJ and Carlos being a lot bigger, the rebounding and how it becomes a factor. So Jason, Joe, Dot, D.A., Johnny, they're going to have to rebound really hard. We're going to have to get a lot of production out of those guards on the boards.
You got a lot of guys who can shoot, a lot of guys who can handle the ball. What's the process and what do you think going forward in terms of finding the rotation, mixing and matching? Do you look for pairs that can play together well?
Oh, I don't know. We got a long way to go there. It's October 27th, and I think a lot of that will be determined in practice. We'll work through it November and December, and hopefully by the time the conference season gets here, we'll have the combinations that work best together. But I think it's going to just take time for those guys to learn how to play together and work together, make simple plays. We had some turnovers where we're just trying to make plays that weren't there. So they'll see the film. I think they'll make some adjustments from it. We need to have a great week of practice. This is a big week for us. The following week with travel and getting into Korea and not really knowing how much practice we can get done. I think this is the critical week for us. We got to make big strides this week.
What was your reaction when you found out that Joe would be eligible? And he was pretty active tonight. Obviously scoring. I think he had 5 steals. Just kind of your impression seeing him in a game for the first time.
Well, I was pretty excited when we got him eligible. He's really a good young man, and he works really hard, and he wants to be part of the team, and he will be a big part of it. So no, we need him, and I think he's going to be a good player for us.
Johnny played 12 minutes, Dominic played 11. Did you want to give more time to the newer guys to see?
Yeah, when the game, I wanted to play everybody today, and it's been a long month of practice. We started September 27th, so we've been at it a month, and I wanted to get everybody, out there and on the floor, and so, I didn't need to play a lot of those vets a lot of minutes in a game like that. We need to get things worked out in practice, and come game time, they'll be ready.
Seeing these new guys in a game in your style and your offense and defense for the first time, did anybody stand out surprisingly maybe to you, play better than maybe you thought they would have, of the new guys you hadn't seen before?
No, it's pretty much what I've been seeing in practice, what I saw today. Those guys that say that they're game guys, have a hard time believing that. 30-some years watching practice, there's some guys maybe geared up a little bit more, but same things we see in practice, usually the same things we see in a game.
How well did the team gel together, be together for the first time on the field?
Well, it's hard to tell. We had a lot better depth, and our quickness was pretty obvious. So I think the gelling part, will really take place later next month, December. It's a long season. College basketball is the longest collegiate sport. You know, we're on the floor as a group for a long time. You know, we're just a month into it. We're just getting started. So I think it's a good start. You know, the guys have had a pretty good month, but as I mentioned earlier, this is a critical week for us. We've got to have a good week of practice if we're going to be in position to compete with Georgetown.
With the new hand checking rule in place, do you think the guys are adjusting well?
They're starting to. You know, we've really been yelling at them a lot in practice about it. I think it's going to change the game. You know, and I think the NCAA and the officials are set on calling it. It's not a recommendation; it's a rule. So we worked really hard, trying to play hard, trying to stay up without our hands. So got a long way to go there, and there's going to be an adjustment period. But I think our guys are doing a good job.
Dave, you get a sense that your guys, as a group, understand what kind of defense that you want to play? Are they ways away from that? Are they?
Oh, they're just scratching the surface. You know, we're not using our quickness. You know, Joe, you saw his hands. You know, he got 5 steals. You just you know, we're not real big when we go with those 3 guards, and so we're going to have to really use our quickness, and those guys are going to have to pound the boards. But no, to answer your question, defensively, we're hugged up on the weak side. You know, we're not taking some passes away. A lot of room for improvement there.
Joseph comes in with this reputation as a big-time shooter, but those hands, like you mentioned, is that something you've seen in practice all along too?
Not as much as I'd like, but he has been picking it up. You know, he's focused in on his defense. He's got a reputation as a pretty good scorer, and you know, he finished some nice shots. The threes that he missed, he's been hitting. You know, so I'm not worried about that. He's a good 3-point shooter. Those will go down. But I think he's made a conscious effort, you know, to really improve his defense. We need all those guys to get that active, and we need all those guys to block out and board. We did a better job blocking out and board in the second half than we did in the first.
Is AJ healthy, or is he just scratched?
He hasn't practiced. He's like practiced 2 days in the last month, you know, the last couple days, you know, so we played those guys who have practiced.
Hasn't practiced, he's been hurt?
Yeah.